by far and away, the video that has gotten the most engagement and feedback from everybody was the one we did when we traded in the GMC for the Toyota Tundra. I cannot imagine what's going to happen when y'all see this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is true. We here at That Little Farm now own an electric vehicle. If you had told me 2 years ago that we'd own an electric vehicle, I would have laughed you off of the farm. But things have changed, and we have a specific use for this, so let's get into it. So let's answer the most obvious question up front. Why? Why in the world did you, Matt Walker, wind up with an electric vehicle and an electric truck, no less? Well, to answer that, I'm going to tell you why, the reasons I did not use to purchase this, and we'll go from there. And by the way, this to me is the weirdest thing about owning an EV. It's not getting used to a different lifestyle or anything else. It's every time somebody asks me, it's almost as if I have to defend purchasing the vehicle. And it's weird. I don't get it, but whatever. Let's carry on. All right, so reason number one I did not buy this is I am not an environmentalist by any measure. I do think, you know, hey, we should be good stewards of the environment that God gave us, but I also think it's the height of arrogance for us to believe we can change a lot of it. It's his creation, so I'm not going to get into that, but anybody who knows me knows that I'm not an environmentalist. I'm not for burning down the forest or anything else, but really when it comes to energy, I'm for everything. Drill, baby, drill. Burn your coal. Build your windmills. Set up your solar panels. I don't care. Do all of them. Go geothermal. They even have those groovy little wave paddles that they're talking about setting up at the beach for the waves to generate electricity. I'm for all of it. But none of it has anything to do with why we bought this. So that's reason number one I didn't buy this. I did not buy it to save the planet. Reason number two that I did not use to buy this vehicle, I didn't buy this vehicle with the idea that I was going to save a lot of money. I know some people are like, oh, you know, you can charge off of your solar and you save money and blah, blah, blah. That's really not the case. By the time you take into account the upfront costs of the vehicle and all of the stuff it takes to set up for that, you're really not saving money. Yet another reason that we did not use to buy this, and I cannot stress this enough, I did not buy this truck to virtue signal or make some kind of statement or to reduce emissions. All of those to me are just moronic. Mandates, like making people buy something that they don't want, or even if they do want it, like they're doing out in California, makes as much sense as ketchup on a donut. It's just stupid, and that's not a reason to buy things. These vehicles, EVs, are created to serve a specific purpose for a specific time and reason. So if you want one, buy one, and if you don't. But it just doesn't make any sense to use them as some kind of statement of morality or, you know, whatever. And the reducing emissions things, I mean, come on. By the time you take into account the giant machines that's digging up all those minerals to make these batteries, and let's just not go there. Let's just not. That's not a valid reason, in my humble opinion, for buying one. If you think you're reducing emissions, that's great. Whatever makes you feel good. It's irrelevant. There's no point in arguing about it. Let's just sit down and, you know, have dinner and talk about other things. So, let's see. Oh, last good one. All right, one other thing, a reason I did not use to buy this truck. I did not buy this truck because I somehow hated the Toyota. That is untrue. The Toyota TRD Pro is a wonderful truck. I freaking loved Vader. It was awesome. As a matter of fact, I've never driven a vehicle that had more people come up and say, "Oh man, nice truck," like I did with Vader. So it was comfortable, capable, rugged, fast as lightning. When you put it in sport mode, it was awesome, and it looked really stellar. Either one of those trucks, the GMC or the Toyota, I can't recommend them enough. They're wonderful vehicles. That's not why I bought this. All right, Matt, we know the reasons why you didn't use, to buy this truck. Why did you buy the dang thing? Well, as you should probably know by now, our goal in moving here was to be a little more self-sufficient. Not like crazy prepper stuff or anything like that, just trying to be as reliant on the government and other people as little as possible. And if I'm being honest, I think we've done a pretty fair job of that already. We've got plenty of animals for food, so we're pretty close to being self-sustaining on that part. We had a well installed, so we're always going to have water. And we have always planned on putting in solar. That's been a plan from day one. Again, not to save money. You're not going to save money putting this stuff in, and you're not going to save the planet. But solar makes a lot of sense from a self-sustaining self-sustaining reasons. So I've gone a month or longer without power twice in my lifetime already, due to hurricanes and things like that. And it's pretty miserable when everybody gets thrown back into the Stone Age. I've also been without power for more than a week. I don't know how many times in my life, because you know, things happen. I mean, there's hurricanes, tornadoes, just regular storms. Stuff happens. People run into power lines and knock the poles down, and you know, there's all kind of stuff that goes on. So the probability of that occurring again is actually pretty high. So we're going to put in solar to help be prepared for that, and that's the only reason. So as part of that decision about solar, we discussed what things would be like in a prolonged outage. For that matter, what it would look like during a really bad economic downturn. If there's no power, there's no gas. And if the economy turns sour, the gas that is available is going to be incredibly expensive and hard to come by. I mean, heck, it cost me 90 bucks just to fill up my Toyota. So for us, we decided that having a gas vehicle and an EV made a lot of sense when you think about it in that perspective. Forget all the other reasons. Just consider prolonged outages, bad economy, how do we remain mobile? As long as we had a stable source, solar, of electricity to charge our truck, we should be in good shape. Okay, so first off, I got an amazing deal. Without getting into all the details, between all the discounts and GM's loyalty program, their military and veterans discount program, which is pretty good, and 0% financing, and the trade-in that I got from my Toyota TRD Pro, I wound up with less debt and a lower payment. So it didn't make any sense not to. So that's the first reason. Second reason, in fitting with our goals, we wanted something that had enough range that we wouldn't have to, you know, that would eliminate that anxiety and worry that you read about. And we wanted it powerful enough to perform, you know, our regular farm truck stuff, which we can get into in a future video, I guess. So as far as farm truck stuff goes, this thing tows like a boss. It also has a 440-mile range on a full charge. That's the estimated range. Thus far, I have found from my driving, and maybe it's just the way that I drive, but we get more than 440 miles of range on a charge. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe it's just how I drive, but I digress. So the third reason, maintenance on an EV basically doesn't exist. The only thing I have to do is rotate the tires every 7,500 miles and put some washer fluid in. That's it. There's no other maintenance to do. It's fantastic. There's no oil, there's no nothing. Because there are less moving parts than a regular engine, there's less to worry about. Okay. The fourth reason is this truck is just absolutely incredible. It's loaded with more features and options for fun than a wedding night with a gymnast supermodel. It's fantastic. I can't wait to show y'all all of it. All right, let me address a couple of observations, feedback, whining, complaints, whatever, from people that I've heard since I've purchased this. And once again, I'm no expert in EVs. This is just my experience since buying one and looking some things up. The other thing I wanted to say before I get started on this, EVs aren't better or worse than any other vehicle. It's just another way of getting from A to B, just different. That's it. It's not better, not worse. So there you go. So all right, here's a couple of different things that I've heard since purchasing it that I think need to be cleared up. All right, first question I always get asked is, Matt, aren't you worried about long trips? Like, you know, running out of range because there's nowhere to charge your battery. Aren't you worried about the lack of charging stations, especially in the great state of Alabama? Nah, not one bit. I'll tell you why. Suppose I asked you right now, how many miles of range do you have on your car or truck? You probably don't know. Most of us don't. I never looked at it, because you know that when you're on a trip, there's a gas station every, 30, 40 miles, and you can just pull over and, recharge by filling your gas tank, and off you go. Okay. So here's the difference with an EV. Just like you, I fill up along the way. I will stop, plug in the truck, and recharge my battery to get some extra range. It's the exact same thing with one little difference. I plan where I'm going to stop before I go on my trip. That's it. There's even sites now, apps, where you can plug in, I'm starting here, I'm going there, I'm starting with this amount of battery, I want this amount of battery when I show up, and it'll plan out, hey, you need to stop here and charge for 10 minutes, stop there and charge for 20 minutes. You don't even have to think about it. It's just there. It's already planned out. So yeah, so am I worried on long trips? No. This truck has 440 miles of range. That was more range than my Toyota had with a full tank. So no, I'm not worried at the slightest. And for those who are worried about the infrastructure that's out there, yeah, it needs to be better. There's no question. But the infrastructure that's in place right now, at least as far as I have seen on my trips thus far, works fine. Okay, number 2. Yeah, Matt, but charge times take forever. Your trips are going to take more time. Doesn't it bother you that I can fill up in 5 minutes and you'll take a half an hour? No, not really. Let me tell you why. See, when I go on a long trip, no matter what, when I stop, I like to stop every couple of hours, just because I'm me. Normally when we stop, what we do is I'll pull up to the gas tank, I'll get out, Angie and whoever's with us will run in, go to the bathroom, get a drink or whatever. I'll finish filling up, and then I'll go park the truck, go inside, go to the bathroom, get something to drink. We come out, we all get back in the vehicle, and we take off. That works out to about a 20 to 30 minute stop, 15 to 30 minute stop, no matter what. It's just how things work. I stop more than most people anyway. With an EV, it's the exact same thing. I pull up to the charger, I plug the thing in, and then I go find something to do for 20 to 30 minutes while it charges up and I'm on my way. I haven't really lost anything at all. All right, so let me take another second to address the whole home charging thing, because this seems to be an issue with people. Oh, is it cheaper for you to fill up at home? Yeah, do you save money? Doesn't it take a long time for you to fill up at home? Look, you're missing the point. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's cheaper for me to charge up at home and give my money to the utility company, or whether I'm giving my money to a gas company you know, by stopping at the Love's Travel Stop or QT or wherever, it's the same. I'm still paying to fuel the vehicle. So let me put it to you this way. Let's just say that your utilities installs a gas pump at your house. It's just part of your utility bill, your gas and your electric and your water. It has a little fourth column there for gas, where you could gas your car up when you got home. You would do it. You would, because it's super convenient and it's super easy. And get this, I'm not driving the truck at night, I'm sleeping. So I'll plug it in and let it charge while I'm sleeping. It's super convenient. Saves me a lot of time. So I don't really care how long it takes to fill up, charge up, or how, you know, whether or not it's cheaper doing that or pumping gas. It's irrelevant. The convenience for me makes it worthwhile. Do you guys mind? I'm filming something here. Sheesh. All right, so my GoPro died filming a couple of segments, so I got to come back and do them with the phone here. I have no idea how they're going to turn out, so if it looks different and I'm wearing different clothes, it's not my fault. All right, so another complaint issue thing that I hear a lot is usually delivered with like a smirk, you know, arms folded, like a gotcha kind of question. And it goes something like, hey Matt, don't you know those batteries don't last forever? You're going to have to replace it. Well, of course I know I'm going to have to replace it. And I know it's going to be expensive. But as I said earlier, we didn't buy this to save money. We bought this to fit a more sustainable lifestyle. So why am I not worried about it? I'll tell you why. So the battery is warranted for up to 100,000 miles and over 8 years. So which is roughly about the time they say that the battery may need to be replaced, is at the 10-year mark. Here's the may need to be replaced part of it, okay? According to what I got my little notes here that I looked up, the battery is expected to be at 80% capacity after 10 years or 100,000 miles. Which means, if we do the math, boys and girls, that means that at full charge on my reduced capacity battery, I'm still going to have 352 miles of range. So almost as much as I had with my Toyota anyway. So no, I'm not worried about it at all. Okay, here's the last one. You ready? I get asked, Matt, this can't possibly be a farm truck. You need a big diesel engine that can tow a house for 3,000 miles. No, I don't. If you are a long haul driver or you're towing massive amounts of pounds over long distances, yeah, diesel all the way. Forget EVs. They're not really made for that. But for our farm here, I do a lot of really short trips, moving hay back and forth between the field and the barn, dragging feed back and forth to feed everybody, running up into town to get some things. Today, for instance, we had to clean up after a couple of storms, so we had a bunch of limbs around, and I made probably 10 to 15 trips back and forth, headed up to the road so I could put the limbs out for the city to pick them up. EVs are great for that. They're great. There's very few moving parts to begin with, and I'm not sitting there idling an engine, which is, you know, in effect, it's just wasting gas and energy. The EV's tailor-made for short little trips. This thing tows great. It might sound funny. I delivered a goat the other day. I stuck him in the back of the truck, drove 50 or 60 miles wherever it was, and dropped him off. I didn't even think about it. Next time we move the cows, I'll film that. We just stick them in a trailer and move them around. This thing is going to have no problem with that. So will it make a good farm truck? For us, it makes a great farm truck. It's doing exactly what I bought it for. For you and your farm, I don't know, but we're gonna make some more of these, you know, along the way to show you it being used and how it works here for us. But for now, we're really pleased. All right, so there you have it. That's the whole why we wound up with an EV truck for our farm truck and why we did what we did. Maybe my reasoning doesn't make sense to you. Maybe it does. All I can tell you is we're really happy with it, and I'm looking forward to the future when we get our solar install, and we'll go from there. I'll let you know how that goes. If you happen to find yourself in Troy and you want to drop by and take a look at it and, you know, hey Matt, I think you were wrong and this is why, our cabin right down there, renting on vrbo.com, and we'll head on up to the porch and sit down and have a drink and talk about why EVs are great. Anyway, later on I'll film one with all the bells and whistles on it, show you how it works and all that other good jazz. So thanks, be safe, we'll see you around soon. Hey look, I'm driving an EV.